Hello and welcome to the, I believe, 5th episode of the Modern Borecast. This is Joe, a.k.a. Impervious Rex, joined as always by Adam, a.k.a.
Testicles.
Testicles, live and direct from Brooklyn and Queens, New York.
Legit.
Testicles, what is happening?
A lot of things, I guess. I mean, the biggest news by far, from our perspective, is the fact that you are expecting. Someone out there is excited for you.
Hey, man, it's good. It's going around.
Yeah, you got an addition coming to the family shortly.
Very much so.
Congratulations
we're actually
on that.
in overtime right now. Due date was yesterday, and now we wait.
Well, that sounds like a delightful time, and I'm sure your wife is just thrilled. So let's talk about what are you reading, watching, playing?
What have I been occupying my time with lately?
Yeah, while you've been waiting on the baby watch.
All right. Actually been doing a lot of reading. I just got through the Lev Grossman Wizard trilogy. Have you heard anything about this?
That is the one. It's the book about Fred Savage and his younger brother who travel across country to.
Yeah. The first one, everyone knows the scene in the movie. The second one is all about the evolution of the Power Glove. No. Lev Grossman, who I think writes for Wired, if I'm not mistaken, wrote this trilogy of books. The quick synopsis, at least as it was pitched to me, was it's Harry Potter in modern day New York.
Okay.
Okay, I'll check it out. Worth a read. Very up and down series. The main character is, for the most part, pretty unlikable. But the way the guy writes, it's not unbearable, and you want to read more. So to go along with it's Harry Potter in present day New York mixed with the Narnia Chronicles.
And wait, this is the Magician's trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Not the Wizard.
No. I don't know why I said Wizard. It is the Magician's. The third one just came out, The Magician's Land. Pretty lackluster ending, but read it if you want. If you're looking for some Harry Potter-esque something to get you through the fall
till Fantastic Beasts comes out or whatever.
Exactly.
I read a good book recently.
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, have you read The Rook?
No, I haven't. Who wrote it?
I'm terrible with that. It's one of those self-published guys. I think it's Dan O'Malley. Is that right?
Could be.
It's kind of like a sort of a spy thriller, but it's like with superpowers. So it's one of those, kind of like a Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense kind of things, where it's in England and monsters and aliens and unicorns are all real, but they're kept hush hush by a government agency and blah blah blah. It's very cliche that part, but it's got a great sense of humor and it's a lot of fun, and it's one of those books that,
do they play it straight or is
no,
it
it's all for goofs. It's very funny, but there's some serious stuff to it, but it's mostly very light, despite the fact that there's like death every other page. But I really liked it. I'm currently reading The Stone Man. I don't know if you've heard of this book.
No.
It was recommended to me by the same. I have an uncle who's a very avid science fiction reader, and he always recommends me books. And he recommended me, The Rook, which was awesome, and he also recommended The Stone Man, which is just awful. It's so boring. I read it, and I struggle to push myself to keep going. I skim pages because I just, nothing happens. It's just this babbling narrator, flashing back on a really not all that eventful series of events. I guess there's a reason why it's available on Amazon for $2.99 on Kindle. So
yeah, I think that might have been your first hint.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of books, I just finished The Godfather.
The books.
Yeah,
the
book.
Mario Puzo.
Yep. I don't
wow.
know what I was reading, but it came up in this article that that was the great American novel, was The Godfather.
Really?
So I had seen the movie 10 years ago, and just I didn't get it. I didn't care for it. So I read the book. fell in love with it. Thought it was amazing. Watched the movie 2 nights ago. We can kick into that in the movie section if you want.
I do not.
So getting off of books, game wise, I've been solely focused on Hearthstone as of late.
Oh yeah.
Damn you for introducing that to me. But by the same token, thank you because I think I spent the entire weekend last weekend playing Hearthstone and reading Ex Machina, which I'll talk about later. But
I'm a little mad that we don't play it more. Then I mean, I have not played it in a long time. Did you pay for the downloadable add-on content, the whatever Nox Ramas?
no, the first part's free.
Mm-hmm.
So that I played, but I'm not buying the downloadable part. I'm gonna try and do as much as I can without spending a dime on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, what were you? You were any games or anything? Or
I've been just rocking my retro console, little Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Nice.
And I've realized I've been obsessed with the Zombies Ate My Neighbors thing. I know I keep talking about it, but it really is those old school games like the the beat 'em ups and the top down shooters and things like that. They're really great for I've got 15 minutes and I'll just push through this level until I get it exactly right, and then I'll save at the end of it and I'll come back to it later. So I've been having a lot of fun with that. I'm really just kind of just killing time until Destiny comes. When it comes to games.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of movies. None in the past week or two. I've been pretty busy, but I did see Guardians and I saw Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
One of those was very good. One of those was not.
I bet you the good one was Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Oh man, and it just killed me because I thought that could be a movie that really would make a good reboot. First of all, the original Ninja Turtles movie, the live action movie with the Jim Henson puppets, was fantastic. I stand by that. That is a really fun, really cool, and frankly kind of daring adaptation of a silly cartoon into a pretty gritty live action movie. This one, I thought, wow, with the advent of CG, this could really be a lot of fun. It was not. It was all the worst parts of Michael Bay influenced movies. It was action you couldn't follow, dialogue that was so trite and just awful. It had some funny moments to it, which I liked, but by and large, the plot just it was like, what are we doing? He's like, I'm not to spoil it for those that really care about the plot of Ninja Turtles, but apparently, okay, so they all know ninjutsu, right? But how do they learn ninjutsu? It's not because Splinter was Hamato Yoshi and he turned into a mutant rat, because that was the cartoon. Right. Nor is it that he was a rat who was the pet of Hamato Yoshi, which is the comic book and I guess the first movie. Nope, it's just that they were all lab experiments who were cast into the sewer, and they learned ninjutsu because someone threw away a ninja book. I am not shitting you. A ninja book, and actually, it's like I swear to God, they holds up this book, this ratty dog-eared book. It's like the guide to ninjutsu, or a dummy's guide to, or whatever. That's ninjutsu terrible. For dummies, and that's how Splinter becomes this unstoppable ninja master who can train 4 anthropomorphic turtles to be so powerful they can beat up an army of 100 machine gun toting Foot Clan soldiers, and stuff like that. Like they just breeze right past it, like it's no big deal. And I'm thinking, man, it would have been better if they had been aliens. It would have made more sense than this crap. So yeah, don't watch Ninja Turtles. It takes a big old turtle poop on your childhood.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I'm glad I missed it.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving on. What do you got? What do we talk? Let's talk about some video games.
Yeah, I think you and I both have the same thing at top of mind. Destiny. Let's talk about Destiny. Did you play either the alpha or the beta?
I played nothing. I'm not a big alpha beta guy because it tends to. I always get my appetite whet, and then I'm let down, and you always end up losing all the work you've done. I don't tend to do it. Yeah, so I didn't play any of those things. I actually didn't even. I don't even know. How did you get on the beta list? I didn't even follow it. I wasn't paying attention.
Well, the alpha list, I saw something I think on Sony or Bungie's Twitter feed, and I sent an email, and I got accepted into the alpha. The email got shunted into my spam folder, so I didn't even find out about it until I think Sunday night, like 2 or 3 hours before the alpha ended. The beta I thought was free to all PS4 people. No, it was if you pre-order Destiny, you got a week extra of the beta.
Gotcha.
So I played it a couple times. I don't know what's happening. I don't know anything about it. I mean, I played it for like a good 4 or 5 hours. I couldn't tell you anything outside of it's an over-the-shoulder, run around and shoot kind of thing. But I know it's supposed to be deeper than that and way more involved. But
right, like RPG elements and things like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I couldn't. I know there's supposed to be a multiplayer aspect of it where it's actually like kind of a team deathmatch or capture the flag kind of thing.
Well, I think it's also, isn't it a persistent world, like where other characters can interact with yours? You can team up on the fly, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so like one of the worlds I was on, there's always like people running around. And what's interesting is the one world that I managed to explore a little bit is the deeper you press into it, the more powerful the enemies get. So if you clear out an area and you're like, oh, what's around this corner? You go, and then all of a sudden there's enemies that your bullets, your guns just don't hurt at all. I don't know if it kind of it's a self-regulating environment where if you're not supposed to go to an area because you're not strong enough, it doesn't block you from going. It's like, yeah, go ahead, do what you want. But
does it warn you in any way? Does it give you a warning, like, warning, approaching level 7 character?
No.
Peter Dinklage doesn't, like, his little, like, nanobot doesn't pop out and be like,
No, he does not. I think it's just you. I mean, you can like scope in on them and see like that you're level 2 and they're level 20 and you're going to get killed. But at least in the beta, there really didn't seem to be any sort of punishment for just suiciding yourself at a boss and just chipping away and getting killed.
Oh, all right.
But
well, we'll see. I'm curious to see if it lives up to the hype. I mean, it's got such a kind of grand ambition to it. And a lot of the people that have played it seem to be more. The people, at least the things that I've read, people seem to be more enamored of the beta than you are. But I guess the proof is in the pudding. So we'll see whenever it comes out. What is that released? It's like the first week of September or the second week?
It's actually the same day as the upcoming Apple event, September 9th.
Oh my God! Please give it to me. Oh my God! Please give it to me now. I need it now. Oh my God! Give it to me. I don't know if I told you this, and certainly we haven't talked about it on the podcast, but my darling, wonderful wife dropped my iPhone 5 to the bottom of a lake in Maryland, where it is still to this day and will be probably forever. We were in a boat, and we were docking, and she hopped out to like help guide us in. To be fair, I was doing a horrible job of parking, but she had my phone in her pocket because she was taking some pictures. And it must have flopped out because it was gone. And when I did the Find My iPhone, it didn't come up. Here's the real tragic thing is that when I tried calling it, it did not go straight to voicemail right away. It rang a few times, and that lasted for a few hours until eventually it just stopped ringing altogether, which tells me that for a while it was still alive down there at the bottom of that lake.
Just drowning slowly.
Calling out for help. And
please come get me.
I've been rocking my iPhone 4, which I bought in 2010, and it has water damage in it. So the speaker, the earpiece speaker, is too quiet, so you can't hear it on a city street. The screen is all screwed up. The home button is broken, so you have to push down on it with the force of like 10,000 joules. And then actually to circumvent that, I was using the lock button to open it up, and that broke too just now. So. It's really in great shape, and I'm just going to be shocked if I make it until September 9th. But I can't wait! I don't care what they're selling. I'm buying it. I'll buy it all. Give me the 5.5-inch iPhone. Give me the medium-sized iPhone. Give me the iWatch. Give it all to me.
All of it. I need all of it. What'll be
iPhones.
Interesting to see is all right. So the announcement's Tuesday. Will it be for sale that Friday? Or
no, I think it'll probably be the end of the month.
Those fuckers.
I know, right? I know. What am I supposed to do till then, man?
I have an iPhone 4 you can use.
Fuck you.
Come out to Queens and get it.
Yeah. All right,
So
we'll finish up with video games. What else you got? Give me two more good stories.
what comes after Destiny, at least in terms of big AAA titles and shooters, we have the yearly iteration of Call of Duty. This time it's Advanced Warfare. Have you been watching any of the trailers or multiplayer?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've been following. I mean, they had me at exoskeletons. I was like, okay, this is a different enough take on the Modern Warfare formula that I'm interested in playing it. I don't know when I'm going to though. Between Destiny and all the insane stuff that comes out in October, I mean, this year is so full of awesome stuff. Like that game Evolve. They pushed that into February because October was so busy. Like that game is a surefire winner, and they moved it just because October is so packed. I also have to buy the Master Chief Collection for Xbox because I never played Halo 4 because I didn't have a console at that time, so I'm booked.
I think honestly that this might be the first Call of Duty that I skip I think since Call of Duty 4 came out. I just don't think I'll have the time. And that's not due to, I have all these other great activities and hobbies to do. No, it's because I'm going to have a newborn. And I don't think I can juggle a newborn, everything else, Destiny, and Advanced Warfare. So if I have to pick one or the other, I'm going to go with the uncertain quality this year and go with Destiny.
Yeah, and also, you're going to have to, I think you have no choice but to raise the child because I'm pretty sure that to not do so would be criminal, and you would probably go to jail. Yeah.
And also, the one thing that turned me off so far about Advanced Warfare is, I don't know about you, but when I'm playing multiplayer shooters, the people that fucking jump and shoot drive me berserk. And if you add rocket packs into that, and in fact, during the during the multiplayer reveal trailer, they show a guy getting chased by two other people under a bridge. He rockets up like in a backward arc over the bridge to land behind the people and kills them. That would drive me berserk. I can't
have a feeling that the gap between me and like the good players in Call of Duty games is only going to get wider with time. This is just accelerating that process. So that's probably a good thing, Just
cut
let's
the
let
cord
it go.
now. Yeah, that's why. I mean, I can't play fighting games online anymore. So I guess we'll just add shooters to that list. And then I think you had a point about you wanted to touch on.
Did I? Oh yeah, I did. I actually have a story. It's Nintendo's anniversary, not the anniversary from when the NES came out in America or even the Famicom in Japan. No, this is the 100. Actually, September 1st, September 5th, is the 125th anniversary of Nintendo Kopai, which was it was a playing card manufacturer in Japan, and it's the same company that 40 years ago, or not 40, 30 years ago, came out with Mario and the whole deal, so this is their 125th birthday, and to celebrate, they are laying off 320 employees in North America. No, I'm sorry, in Europe. So that's great news for them.
Yeah, how considerate of them.
Well, I mean, Nintendo is not doing well right now, right? I mean, that's kind of understood in the industry. I think is that this is obviously 320 people is not a huge number for a company of this size,
right?
But the fact that you don't hear any good news out of Nintendo, which is a company that has effectively had a license to print money for the better part of 3 decades, for the first time, their gamble has not paid off. Nobody wants a Wii U. Nobody's buying the. What is the current DS? Is it is there one?
There is. I just saw something today that so they had the 3DS. Then they had the 3DS XL.
Yeah, and they had the 2DS.
And now they're releasing a new 3DS XL.
Okay. That no one wants.
Right.
All right, well, I don't want Nintendo to fail. I think for you, for me, for everybody, we have great memories of Nintendo, and
Definitely.
and they obviously have been a great innovator, especially in first-party games, especially in motion control. A lot of cool things have come out of that camp, so I don't want them to do poorly. It's just it's troubling to see that they are still going against the grain when clearly what console gamers want is not a bare bones hardware experience. They want
They
faster
want a
processors. They
PC-esque.
want yeah.
They want PC-esque performance in a console.
Yeah, so I don't know. Best of luck, Nintendo.
So speaking of fun memories, real quick before we move on, off the top of your head, top 2 or 3 NES games.
Let's. Well, I mean, okay. Contra is probably my number one, but that's more for sentimental reasons than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Super Mario 3 is probably the best game I guess I ever played on Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right. I have the Zelda, the original Zelda is still on my list. I played it momentarily when I was younger, but I had the gold cartridge, but it didn't. I was borrowing it and it didn't work, so I could play like a little bit, but so that I still have to finish that to find out if it's really like that fantastic. But yeah, I would go with those two, Contra and Super Mario 3. How about you?
Um, I think I have to go with Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Bionic Commando,
Oh, Bionic Commando was great.
which I loved. That swinging mechanic
Yeah,
was
so much fun.
amazing, and the fact that they could pull that off.
Yeah, well, and it moved so fast, and you could really track through the scroll really quickly. That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
It was merciless. It was not easy. Those games were not easy. And then I think also, that's where my love of side-scrolling beat 'em ups came from. River City Ransom, loved it.
River
Still
City
love it.
Ransom. Now wait, was Streets of Rage for no? That was for Super Nintendo, right?
That was Genesis.
Oh, Genesis. That's right. That's right. What was the one I was trying to think? Oh, was the original Metal Gear for Nintendo as well, or was that a Genesis game as well?
Nintendo, yeah.
It was Nintendo, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I seem to remember like screen upon screen of like useless doodads. Like it'd be like hand grenade, balloon, cardboard box.
That's it. That's your Metal Gear experience in a clamshell right there.
Yeah, and actually that looks pretty incredible too, right? The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
What's it called? The Phantom Pain.
Yeah, the Phantom Pain. That's
Right. What is the Star Wars movie now? It's the rumored title is what is it again? Because it's the Phantom something, isn't it? It's not the Phantom Menace, but that's not right.
I don't. The Phantom Threat? No, I don't know.
Oh, what is it? It's killing me. It's
Let me take a look now.
no, I can't remember what it is. It's something like that though. It's something the Phantom. I don't know. No, obviously it's not Phantom. I'm going to move on because I'm going to have an aneurysm if I try and figure this out.
Yeah.
It'll come to me the moment we're done. Anyway, so that's what I had for games. You want to move on? Should we talk? I mean, there's some kind of interesting stuff. We want to talk console wars for a moment. The big thing
let's
for
just touch
Xbox
on
is
the Ancient
software
Fear.
update. What's that?
The Ancient Fear.
I knew it was something like that. That is not even close to what I was saying. But whatever, I'll take it.
Aneurysm averted.
Yeah,
Console wars.
Damn it. The Ancient Menace. Yeah. Oh, and actually, when we get to the movie section, I have consciously opted out of any Star Wars rumors because I'm done with that. I'm done perpetuating the hype train. I can't take it anymore. Every day there's a news story like Star Wars 7 filming again. It's like it has not stopped filming. It has been filming the whole time. This is not news.
It's the news of no news, I guess.
Anyway, so Xbox, the big thing is they do these monthly software updates, which is awesome. From the get-go, I said that the success of the Xbox One would rest on regular, robust updates, and they've really they've obviously listened to me, and they have followed my instructions, which I'm pleased with. So Major Nelson, you get a thumbs up, cautious thumbs up. The September update is a big one because it paves the way for a bigger one. It allows for media files to be played from USB devices or like media servers. And what's important about that is Xbox One has the capacity for DNLA, which allows you to basically stream over your home network from a computer to your Xbox, as if it's like your like the like Media Blade was like the old thing, but
Right.
So and actually that was one of the factors that played into me buying an Xbox as opposed to a PS4, or keeping the Xbox as opposed to the PS4, because I wanted that. I wanted the ability to do that, but it wasn't in the box. It was not available at first, and it's apparently this is coming soon thanks to this current update. So that's pretty cool. And I don't believe your PS4 has the capacity to do that.
But I don't need it to. I mean, personally, I'm sure other people would love to have that capability, but I don't need it. I have enough devices that I can stream on.
Sure.
I think the PS3, actually, there were a lot of problems with that, because when I finally cut the cord with cable, I was going to use the PS3 in my TV, and I was going to stream content to it in this, glorious cable-free environment of entertainment I was able to pull out of the ether of the internet. Didn't quite work out that way.
Right. Never does.
And it was that lack of what is it, DNLA? Right?
Yeah, DNLA, is that right? I don't know. D could be DLNA for all I don't ask me what it stands for. I never bother to look it up because I'm a total hack.
Me too.
So with that,
please
let's talk
send
about
us emails
movies.
to tell us how dumb we are, so we get some emails.
Yeah, please. Oh my God, I'd love to hear how dumb I am. All right, movie time. Age of Ultron. You've heard of this? Yes.
It's a movie. Yep. I have.
Yep. So apparently, now this is all rumor, but it's a good one. Apparently, the rumor is that at the end of Age of Ultron, there will be a scene in which Captain America assembles a new Avengers squad, and it will be a mix of familiar faces and new faces that will kind of pave the way for Phase 3, the next kind of wave of movies. The scene itself is apparently very short. It comes in at the end of the movie. It was in the scripts that have been like kind of read by like sites like Latino Review, and it's something that Marvel has not confirmed, obviously, but they say that it's a scene that is very brief and that it may or may not have been shot yet, but it doesn't matter because the cast of characters is up in the air. Could be anybody, and because the scene is so short, they don't have to have it now. They can do it in pickups later on.
Right.
But the word is that Captain Marvel, aka Ms. Marvel, is one of them, and that she is going to be introduced in this scene, fully formed, not an origin story. Like she'll just be there, powers and all, and that she'll become a member of the Avengers going forward, and maybe even have her own standalone.
That's smart. It's incredibly smart, and it sticks, and it adheres to what the Avengers are. It's the most powerful people at the time for the job. So very much like Justice League, these core team books always have shifting rosters. So the fact that it's not just going to be, it's Thor and Hawkeye and Black Widow again. It could be, one of the X-Men. Well, it can't be X-Men because of Fox.
Nope, ain't gonna be that.
They could introduce the Sentry if they wanted to. They could introduce, Iron Fist. I mean, it's limitless.
Certainly, we think the Vision is going to be a new member, right?
Right.
And also, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are both in there, I think.
Right.
I think this might be a little bit of a spoiler for Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Okay. Then I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I don't want to spoil it for you. But certainly, the stuff that is teased at the end of Cap 2 is a possibility for team incorporation of some nondescript.
Way to dance around that. Very good.
Fuck, I ruined that.
I would like to see... my chief concern with Age of Ultron is it's a cool title. Ultron's a cool villain. I really hope they deviate from what they did in the comics. Because I think we even mentioned this before, but Age of Ultron as a crossover, was a mess.
It was kind of a mess. And it was hard to follow, and it dragged on forever. I felt like they kept going back in time to, fix something. And it was like, and then now it's like, okay, now we're with Wolverine, and he's going to kill Ant-Man, and Ant-Man is a bad guy, but he's just sad, and he's going to kill himself. And I mean, it was all over the place.
It really was. And I mean, that I've gotten that sense. I mean, we're dipping into comics for a second, and we'll get back to the movies, but I've gotten that sense from Marvel crossovers for like the last 2-3 years, where you have a very cool premise that they just cannot deliver on.
Well, and I find myself wondering, are these, and you say the last 2 or 3 years, certainly Age of Ultron was a series that was started, it was even conceived well after Marvel had begun finding huge success at the box office. Is this not a possibility that they're saying, okay, we need to start building in coherent storylines that we can package as movies? They have to come out now because they have to have cred, but we're building this because we know that we have Robert Downey Jr., and we want him to create this robot. How can we do it? Oh, we've got Ultron. Oh, but Ultron's created by Hank Pym. Oh, so what? So what? We'll just we'll kind of flesh it out later, but let's give Ultron a big storyline so that when we make a movie, we can use him as the villain.
Perhaps, but I mean, you want these crossover, you want these events to be good. You want them to be good.
And but I wonder,
not,
are they more concerned with selling comic books?
A year or 6 months in the hype cycle and of putting this out, and ultimately, I mean, of course, nothing changes in comics. I mean, you get a bump in the road for a year or two, a character goes away, something happens. They always come back. It always comes back around. Yeah. So all these events are the most shocking thing in the Marvel Universe history, blah blah blah, and then 6 months later, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So.
Well, and I wonder. I mean, I do legitimately wonder though how much of Marvel and / Disney's income is generated from the sale of comic books, and how much of it is generated by the sale of movie tickets or related things. Obviously merchandising.
I don't even think it's the comics anymore. They're just keeping the IP going.
Right, and that's my point. Is that if the comics are just a vessel to produce future stories, they're like a farm team for movie stories. Why have them at all? Wow, that's silence. Look at that. I just blew your mind.
You did.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Let's talk about other casting news, but this time we're going to jump over to DC. I'm going to bring it back to Marvel in a minute, but we're going to DC. Have you heard of The Rock?
He's a guy.
Have you smelled what he's cooking?
Not lately.
All right. Well, there have been rumors kicking around since, for 7 years now that he's going to play Shazam, right? Otherwise known as the DC Captain Marvel.
Correct.
And apparently recently those rumors have gained credence from the star himself, who has been telling people that he is deciding whether or not he's going to play Shazam or Shazam's arch rival, the villain, Black Adam.
I'd much rather see him in that role as Black Adam.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why is that?
I want to see him as a villain. I think that would be interesting. I mean, it would definitely, of course, depend on who they cast as Shazam. So I think they should probably just throw it back all the way and get Lou Ferrigno. But if he's busy, then I mean, if you had to cast a Shazam, who would you pick?
I'd pick him. I'd pick The Rock. I mean, when I think of Shazam, and I mean, you know a lot more about this than I do, and actually legitimate DC fans probably know way more than either of us put together. But he's kind of like, he's a little boy who gets superpowers, right? And he becomes like an awesome superhero. Is that right?
Yeah, basically he says a word. The word is Shazam. But
I feel like Shazam is it's kind of a goof. It's kind of like he gets to have a lot more fun with it because he doesn't have to take his powers so super seriously. I feel like that's really a good role for The Rock. And I would love to see him be the comic relief because so far the DC universe is setting up very serious, with the Man of Steel. And you've seen the pictures of Ben Affleck's Batman. I mean, he's like this pouty, muscular, grizzly, grizzly?
Grizzled.
Grizzled, that's what I meant, not grizzly. Grizzled, man, it's all very somber and serious. And to have a character who's kind of joyful, that'd be nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's which way you want to go with him, because you look at Kingdom Come, Captain Marvel, and he's a lunatic. He almost kills Superman. And I haven't read any of the new Shazam, and it was very strange. Like, I think the book, like, pre New 52 was called Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel and Shazam were interchangeable.
Right.
And then in the new book, they've done away with that, and he's just Shazam.
Which I think is better because it's awesome. Shazam!
Yeah, exactly.
Going back to Marvel.
Yeah.
More casting news. Now, this is a big-time rumor that it's such a rumor. It's such like a far-fetched rumor that, not far-fetched, but it's such an unsubstantiated rumor that most outlets are not even picking it up. But as of like yesterday, Collider is reporting that Joaquin Phoenix is he's going to be Doctor Strange. He's going to be Stephen Strange, the surgeon turned supernatural warrior.
Sorcerer Supreme. Yeah, even Strange.
Yeah. And they say that the contract is on the, quote, 1 yard line, and that the details just have to be ironed out, but that he's in line to play it.
Very interesting. So really now, any sort of Marvel news, as soon as I hear it, the first thing I think is, which studio? Is it going to be on the Marvel Films banner, or is it some sort of free-floating, maybe it's in like the Fox, X-Men, Fantastic Four universe?
No, this is all Marvel. Fox only has the rights to the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. That's everything they have. And Sony only has the rights to Spider-Man, Venom, and things that are tied to that. There's actually, I want to say it's Lionsgate or some other studio has the rights to Namor, the Submariner.
Oh.
But nothing else. But everything else rests with Marvel and Disney. So this would, Doctor Strange, and actually you can tell because, actually you don't know this, but they actually mentioned the name Stephen Strange in Captain America the Winter Soldier, which, by the way, you should totally watch. They got me. I wanted to see it so badly, and I missed it in theaters because I was busy and doing other shit, but it was available on, you could download it, but not for rent. So you couldn't pay $8 to rent it. No. You had to pay the full $20 to buy it. And I wanted to see it so badly, I did it. So wow. I now own, somehow, Captain America the Winter Soldier, which I will never watch again. It's just going to sit on my Xbox hard drive forever until I lose it.
Right.
And then I'll never know I had it again. I'll never be able to download it again because I don't even know how to do that. But they got me. And I don't regret it because I wanted to watch it that night, and there it was. I was like, $20? Deal.
Worth it, easy convenience.
Yeah,
done and done.
Yeah. So I'm a sucker. I'm their target audience. Okay. Remaining movie news. We're going to start with Reboot-a-Palooza. We're going to talk about reboots because Underworld, the vampires versus werewolves, Romeo and Juliet, tight leather pants, Kate Beckinsale,
Sexy Time,
shoot you with a light
Supernatural,
bullet.
martial arts adventures.
Yeah, it's getting a reboot. Apparently, and it sounds great. Lakeshore Entertainment, who of course is known for all their wonderful things, is rebooting the franchise with Corey Goodman writing the script. Now, Corey Goodman, of course, you know from the 2011 blockbuster film Priest, starring Paul Bettany.
I love that movie.
Did you see it?
No.
It was among the worst movies I've ever seen. It was awful.
Yeah.
Apparently the comic book is good, but it was a nightmare. It was so bad. Offensively bad, dialogue that made no sense, action scenes you saw them happening and you're thinking, why is she moving at a 90-degree angle from the direction she was going before? It just doesn't make any sense. It was a nightmare. It was terrible, and they even did like the Matrix Bruce Lee palm wave thing where they say the come on thing.
No.
I'm like, are you kidding? That was cool in 2000 when The Matrix did it. Like, you're 11 years late to the party, my man. So that's getting a reboot, and that sucks. You know what's awesome, though?
You tell.
Remo Williams.
Yeah, Remo Williams.
Yeah, dude. Do you remember the movie?
Yes.
It was, I can't remember his name. It was the actor from Tremors, and that's another one that's going to give me an aneurysm. But, and actually, when the movie came out, and I'm going to go with, I'm going to say it was 1985, something like that. It was they billed it as Remo Williams, the legend begins. Like, they expected it to start a franchise, but I don't think it even made a theatrical release because
Probably not.
yeah, nobody really watched it. But I loved it. It's based on a book called, actually a series of books, like a long series of books called the Destroyer. It's about a guy, like a cop who's framed and he's executed, but it's a fake, or the execution doesn't work, and so he gets, like, they bring him back to life, and they give him plastic surgery, and they train him in, like, martial arts, and he becomes, like, this super warrior.
That's right.
It's awesome, and I like that movie a lot because, like, it's Fred Ward. That's his name, from Tremors. Fred Ward. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're rebooting this, and I couldn't be happier. I hope it's great. And it's, I guess, the guy who wrote Fight Club, the script for the movie Fight Club, is writing it, Jim Ules.
Yeah.
So I'm totally psyched. I think that's a great reboot.
That's cool. Sounds like you're pretty psyched for it.
So I guess that's all I got for movies. Take me to comics.
All right. Well, I think the perfect segue from movies into comics. We'll just take a couple seconds, talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, totally. Have you seen?
I did see it.
Yeah, it's good, right?
Yeah, I was, all the good reviews. I mean, I was going to go see it regardless, but I was like, okay, now I'm definitely going to go see it. And you know what? It very much like you said with Captain America, I was hooked, pretty much right from the get-go. And I thought casting-wise, Chris Pratt was awesome.
Yep, agreed.
Everyone else was decent to great. Batista as Drax was not as distracting as I had imagined.
I was disappointed in him, actually, because he was one of the, like, minor bad guys in the Riddick movie. Not the Chronicles of Riddick, but just Riddick, the third one. Mm-hmm. And he was great in it. Like, he was really awesome. And I thought, wow, man, maybe this guy's going to really be great. I thought he was poorly written and poorly directed. I was not crazy about him. I thought Gamora was kind of a wet blanket. She was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
But I loved Groot. I loved Rocket. I loved Star-Lord. And my favorite character from the whole thing
Michael
was...
Rooker?
No. I mean, I always liked Michael Rooker. No, it was Ronan the Accuser. I thought Lee Pace was incredible.
Yeah.
I thought he was just fantastic. Like, he blew me away. And nobody's really talking about it, so I guess I'm alone on that. But I really liked him.
I don't think it's a spoiler at this point in time. I mean, I'll give you the warning. If you haven't seen the movie, maybe mute it for the next 20 seconds.
All right, I got you on the clock. Go.
But my favorite part, hands down, was the Infinity Gem reveal.
Yeah.
That, I mean, call me dumb. I didn't see it coming.
You didn't see it coming?
And they cracked it open, and I was like, that's amazing.
All right, 3,
I probably
2,
should have seen it with
1.
the Collector being
Time
as
done.
how, that's Thanos actually, I think, tricks and or kills the Collector to pick up one of the gems during the Thanos quest where he was assembling the gauntlet. So that was a tie-in. I guess I should have seen it. I didn't, but
I didn't see it either. I had no idea.
Cool way to
I
bring them into
movie.
the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Any other thoughts on the movie?
No, I mean, it was rad, I mean, it was, one other thought, it's amazing that movie, it opened at number 1, obviously, I mean, because it had to, and it's a good thing it did, because otherwise Marvel would have really had to question its choices, but the next week, Ninja Turtles came out, and that became number 1, which is not unexpected, new blockbuster opens, that's the biggest one, but now we are 4 weeks removed from Guardians coming out, and it is again the number 1 movie. It was number 1 last week over Expendables 3, which I think opened in 5th, which was expected to open at number 1. This week, I don't even remember. Sin City: A Dame to Kill For was expected to be a number 1 kind of release movie, but it was number 8. It had $7 million total for the entire weekend.
Yeah, did not hear good things about that.
No, not good. But Guardians is number 1 again. It's already cleared $500 million.
Unbelievable.
So it is the biggest summer movie of the year, and I think it's the biggest August opening of all time.
Man, Marvel's just killing it. It's
Yep, they really are. They can do no wrong.
It's the word choice. It's a stupid word choice, but you have to marvel at how well they're doing. Yeah. All right. So going into comics, let's talk about a couple things. A couple of books to keep an eye out for if you're looking for new series to check out. A lot of this stuff is going to be Image. They just seem to be putting out new amazing series on a weekly basis. One of which it's a couple issues in, but Trees by Warren Ellis and with art by Jason Howard, who does a bunch of stuff for Robert Kirkman of Walking Dead and Invincible fame. He's done a couple issues of Superior Spider-Man, I think, to fill in for Ramos, I guess when he was behind Deadline. Quick synopsis is present day, maybe near future Earth. Some alien structures crash land on Earth, sit there by themselves doing nothing for 10 years, and then all of a sudden, ... and that's where it picks up, where these structures are on Earth, how people are dealing with it. And, this is pretty much Warren Ellis's wheelhouse. You have strange art, strange science, alien beings. I mean, this is really where the guy can dig in and really craft some really interesting stories. So take a look out for Trees.
Awesome, yeah.
Another Image book, Shutter, Shutter, like a camera, written by Joe Keating with art by, I believe her name is Lila DeLuca. Fell in love immediately with this book from the first issue. Vibes very much like Saga. You get the sense of being dropped into a fully realized world, and the fun of it is, as much as it is of following the main character and seeing what's happening with her, it's seeing these glimpses of this world that you hope to really spend a lot of time in, really kind of peek in and see what's going on. Really, it's got a almost a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and Planetary-esque vibe to it as well. So really these high-end Image and, ABC books that have been put out by these really top-notch writers, you get that feeling from Shutter. So I would strongly recommend picking that up as well.
Nice. Now, I see you've got something on here about boobs. I'd like to talk about that.
Okay. Yes, there on our list there is something about boobs. If you've been paying attention to really any of the comic sites, and I don't think it made any mainstream news.
I've seen this on a few, not like CNN, but on some other, like IO9, like blogs like that.
Yeah, I bet it would pop up on Jezebel. But anyway, Marvel's launching a new series starring Jessica Drew, aka Spider-Woman. And one of the variant covers is drawn by an Italian erotic artist named Milo Manera. And it's basically Spider-Woman on all fours, kind of crouched down with her ass in the air. But it is, I guess she's wearing a costume, but it's basically just like colored.
It looks like
red.
She's painted, right? I mean, it's like a very muscular woman is crouched in a very uncomfortable pose with like latex body paint. Yeah,
pretty much. And everyone is, how dare you? What is Marvel thinking? And I mean, DC does this all the time. They did it with the Catwoman relaunch, where basically every panel was Selena Kyle, boobs akimbo, however they could draw her in there. They do the same thing with Power Girl, who I think
got a famous chest panel that shows the
right. And even the relaunch of Teen Titans #1, front and center is Wonder Girl, the supposed 16-year-old. Teenage version of Wonder Woman, and her, giant boobs are front and center. So, I don't know if this is just Marvel following the lead. Of course, there's people saying, no, this is not a big deal. Superheroes do this all the time. It's not what's your take on this?
My take is, it's an unrealistic depiction of the human form. It's sexist. It appeals to the prurient interest of male readers, and it's. I think it's not a great thing, but at the same time, this is the form. This is the medium. This is what they do. And I'm sorry, I don't look at the bodies that they draw for Wolverine and Spider-Man and Superman and Batman and think, oh yes, that represents me. That's what I am. And I don't think that the idea is that this is, they're not ordinary. I don't know. I don't think it's right that I don't think the objectification of women is on par with the objectification of men. I don't think that at all, because these comics are aimed primarily at men, and so to showcase women in that way it has all kinds of historical and societal ramifications. But at the same time, I look at it and it's like, this is what this guy does. This is his style.
You knew who you were hiring.
Who cares? I
right.
mean, I don't know. When it comes to comic books, the thing that draws me in, I have really, when it comes to art style, I have only one requirement, and that's that it not be impossible to follow the action.
Yeah.
If I can tell who's punching who and what explosion is being caused by what, I'm pretty happy. If my characters aren't horribly distorted because some, savant artist thinks that it's cool to make Wolverine's head the size of a thumbtack and the rest of his body as big as a dump truck, cool. I mean, whatever. If I can follow it, I'm okay with it. But I just don't get up in arms about these things. But I understand the people that do. I understand that it's important. I also understand that the boob fetish culture in comic books needs to stop, because it is denigrating to women, and all those female Comic-Con attendees. It's the same culture that pervades those kind of environments where you can't go doing cosplay as your favorite character because you have to be afraid of some guy kind of scamming on you and making you feel bad. So I don't know if this is the way to eliminate that, but I certainly understand where they're coming from. But for me, this was a story that I looked at, I was like, whoa, that is suggestive. And then I moved on. I didn't even read the story because I didn't give a shit. So I feel like they'll stop, I don't know, they'll stop doing it when people stop caring.
Right. Well, and on the flip side, too, I mean, if you're looking for an extremely positive, woman-centered book, you can't go wrong with Ms. Marvel.
There you go.
It's a great read so far. This past issue that came out, where Ms. Marvel, teenage Muslim hero in Jersey City, teams up with Wolverine in the sewer. Hilarity ensues. Check it out.
And she's got her very demure costume on, not suggestive, provocative in any way.
Nope.
So, folks, what we're saying is we're showing a diversity of characters, and some of them are boobalicious, and some of them are a little more grounded, and let's see which one wins, because they're only selling what the people are buying. Am I right?
Indeed. All right, so a couple quick points as well. So this week, if you've been reading The Massive by Dark Horse, I think Dark Horse publishes it. The start of a really interesting payoff. It's 24 issues in. I know it seems like a lot, but if you can pick up some trades from your local library, which is free, check it out. The Massive is awesome.
Right.
Wolverine, 1 month to die. They're killing off Wolverine, along with killing off Nick Fury and making Thor a woman. I hope he dies. I hope he never comes back. If this is how they're going to do it, then this is terrible. Screw this character. With a tagline like 1 month to die and a very interesting cover series leading up to this issue, there was no payoff. It was terrible. So if you're a Wolverine fan, stop it. Bad for you. Uncanny Avengers is trash. It's unreadable. I shouldn't need to check Wikipedia month to month to figure out what is happening in Uncanny Avengers. But I do. That's how needlessly complex it's gotten. But I think it's supposed to be laying the groundwork for the next big Marvel event, Axis, which Marvel's actually been very mum on, but I believe it involves everyone's favorite mid-2000, late 90s, one of those time periods, the Charles Xavier Magneto mashup Onslaught tied in with I got it. With the Red Skull. I just got a secret note from Adam saying that this is too long and I need to move along. He can fuck himself. And lastly, old-timey books that you may not be aware of, please read them. Ex Machina, I spent all last weekend going through 50 issues. It's awesome. It's basically the comic version of The West Wing by way of Spin City, Powers, and a little Meteor Man thrown in there.
Okay. Should I wake up now? Is it time for me to wake up?
I like how you can just blather on about whatever you want for 10 minutes.
You know,
I don't interrupt you.
I'll tell you
But
the
if I talk
difference.
for
The
3 minutes
difference
about
right there
comic
is
books,
that
I'm
what
getting
I was
death
saying
threats.
was awesome. All right, so there's no time for TV. We're going to do 1 minute of television, and I'm just going to use it to stand on my pulpit and say that Longmire, which is A&E's most watched show of all time, was canceled. So they had two. This was their third season, and they canceled it. So there will be no fourth season, even though the third season ended on a cliffhanger. I am sad by this because I really like that show. It's formulaic. It's a little silly. Some of the characters are a little one-dimensional, but it's got Lou Diamond Phillips. It's got Katie Sackhoff. It's a fun show. I hope that they're successful in shopping it around to other networks or streaming services.
Is it a Western?
It's kind of Western. It's a modern movie. It's a modern show that's set in Wyoming about like a tough as nails sheriff keeping the peace in like the prairie lands. But it's pretty fun. It's a guilty pleasure. Rebootapalooza TV edition. Lego Movie team, the guys who did the Lego Movie, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, are apparently rebooting The Greatest American Hero. You know, what's the Believe It or Not, It's Just Me. You know that show?
Yeah.
So that sounds awesome. Other reboots, Martin Scorsese is directing a Shutter Island TV show. And
to what end?
Minority Report. Steven Spielberg is working with the writer of the 2014 Godzilla to bring Minority Report to TV. And finally, Full House could be coming back to television. So I will leave you with that frightening piece of news.
Why? I don't understand. Why?
No, it's not for us to understand. It's just, ours is not to question why. Ours is but to do and die.
Or watch these television shows.
You know, I'm all about the Greatest American Hero one. Sounds awesome because those guys, Chris Miller and Phil Lord, can do no wrong. I mean, they did. 21 Jump Street was awesome. Everybody loved it. Lego Movie. I mean, they're just yeah.
Did they do 22 Jump Street?
Yeah, they did both. Did you see them?
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one.
Yeah, I saw them both. Second one, really, the first one it's the second. The second one is the same as the first, just louder, bigger, a little dirtier, a little more explosions, but they're both fun.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. That was TV, the quick TV minute.
Yeah, right. Someone's got to keep the pace.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to listener mail, and surprise, we actually did get an email this week.
Is this a legit email or is it another spam email?
Well, someone wants to give us 750,000 pounds.
Oh, come on. Damn it.
So, and just to give listeners an update from the previous listener mail, we have yet to receive our pounds of sterling.
Where's my sterling?
I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Hopefully it'll show up soon.
Do you want to send them like a few other credit card numbers just to make sure they have the right ones?
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. They just didn't get the right one.
Right. So let's try that. Well, I saw your little note that said we have an email, and I thought, wow, this is great. But I still prepared for just in case we didn't. So since there's no mail, this week in 1984 saw the release of Choose Me, which is I looked it up. It's apparently like kind of an ensemble movie, kind of a Robert Altman thing that no one has ever heard of. Even though the cast included Keith Carradine, John Larroquette, Ray Don Chong, who was the love interest from Commando.
Was she the Golden Child?
No, she was not. I could remember her name on a good day, but I can't right now. But I actually read the synopsis. It sounded kind of interesting, but that was the only movie that came out this week in 1984. So it shows what a wasteland August was for movies. The biggest movie from that entire month was a movie called Tightrope, which was a Clint Eastwood kind of detective drama. Oddly enough, starring Genevieve Buchholz who was also in Choose Me.
Oh my God, so, the connection!
I don't know. It's just blowing my mind. The synergy. The other movies from August '84 that you might know are the Philadelphia Experiment with Martin Sheen, The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai in the, what is it, the 8th dimension or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Which is weird but fun. Red Dawn came out in August, which is awesome.
Nice.
Wolverines. Dreamscape, which is a movie I have seen and can't remember a lick of. And Chud.
Oh, Chud.
Yeah. I mean, none of those were really tentpoles. I mean, you know the names, you've probably seen some of them, but certainly none of them were Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's a whole new world now where, blockbuster movies can be released at any time in the year.
Be on guard. You never know when they're going to show up.
You never know.
But to be fair, Guardians of the Galaxy is no Chud.
No, nothing could be. Nor is it Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
No, it couldn't be. So just a couple quick plugs on our way out the door. As always, modernwarfare.com. We have our previous podcasts.
Definitely check out this week's Friday Night Flicks. We are recording this on Friday, August 29th. And today the one I posted was Pumping Iron, the documentary about Arnold Schwarzenegger competing for his 6th and then world record Mr. Olympia title. It's awesome. It's really a lot of fun. It's a well-shot documentary. It has like 3 or 4 really interesting storylines. These men are incredible. They're insane, but they're incredible. And like you look at these guys, and I'm telling you, their bodies are so just comically oversized and just so huge. You lose your sense for it. You look at them, and they don't even look that big. It's like, oh, so what? Show me the real big guy. Show me the Incredible Hulk. Like, show me and then you see the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, and you're like, he's not. What? Yeah. I mean, but then you see a guy stand next to them, and it's like, whoa, that is insane. Like their biceps are the size around my waist, and my waist is not as small as it once was, but it's amazing how kind of inured you can get to it. But it's a cool movie. It's exciting. It's funny. And my goodness, Arnold Schwarzenegger, boy, I mean, that guy, I can't, I love the man, but yeah, you can see it. Like every time he interacts with a woman or talks about women, it is like, yep, I can see that you were sued for paternity several times in your life.
That's funny. All right, I'll check it out. So I think that's it for us. As previously stated, please follow us at modernwarfare.com, on Twitter at Impervious Rex and Adam DeLeo. Those are 2 separate handles. You can send questions to modernborecast@gmail.com. You can find us, we're on Facebook and Tumblr. Until next time.
Oh, yeah. To quote from Whitman, "Oh me, oh life, of the questions of these recurring, of the endless trains of the faithless, of cities filled with the foolish, what good amid these, oh me, oh life?" Answer: that you are here, that life exists and identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be? Of the iron minds, just that 52 fatal strikes.